Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. So you guys know, well you may not know, that I am 3 months into this YouTube journey, and I have recently noticed that my top 2 videos, or couple of my top videos, are what's in my hospital bag and what's in baby's hospital bag. I don't know why I'm struggling to say the word hospital. I've also noticed that a lot of you guys that are watching are actually still pregnant, so I thought I would actually do this video as a little kind of follow on to my hospital bag videos. And also I thought I would ask any of you that are pregnant if there's any questions or any videos that you guys would like me to do. Obviously I do a lot of motherhood videos now, but if there's anything related to pregnancy or just any questions in general, I can always do a Q&A or different videos. Leave a comment down below or head over to my Instagram and pop me a message over there, or in the description I have my email as well, so you can even email me any questions or video ideas that you guys would like to see. So even though I gave birth 5 months ago, I can still remember exactly what I used for my hospital bag, and I thought it'd be handy for you guys to know, because sometimes you pack stuff and then you kind of second guess yourself, is that actually necessary? So I thought you guys might find it interesting to see what kind of things I actually used and what things I didn't use. In order to do this video for you guys, I had to sit down and watch those 2 hospital bag videos that I did, and my god, I cringed so much. I just realised how far I've come in 3 months and how much more comfortable I've got talking to the camera. So my god, I don't even know how that video is doing so well, but this is the follow on for you guys, so I hope you guys find this helps you out. And yeah, enough rambling, and let's just get into this. The first things I'm going to start with are things I actually wish I had taken, and there's only a couple of them. The first one is flip-flops. Now whoever you are, whatever labour you think you're going to have, please go get a 90p pair of flip-flops from Primark. There's always a possibility that you could end up with a cesarean, and when it comes to a cesarean, obviously they have to numb you from the waist downwards, and to do so it means that your legs actually swell up. Now if you've seen my labour and delivery story, you will know that I had an induction, so I also had an epidural, and I had a cesarean, ended up being an emergency cesarean, and I just did not realise how badly my legs would swell up, and I didn't take flip-flops, I just took trainers. And when it comes to coming home 2 days later, I tried stuffing my feet back into those shoes like stuffing a sleeping bag back into its bag, and it was a nightmare. So what's 90p for comfort? Even if you don't use them, then you've got flip-flops for a holiday at some point. Even if you don't have a cesarean, people like to use those around hospital anyway. It's just really handy things, so it's better than wearing your socks. 90p, flip-flops, that's all I'm saying. The next thing I wish I took was a long cable, because a lot of the time you have your plug socket back above your head. My cable just never really reached to me, so if you are doing a bit of like waiting around, if it's an induction, it was kind of annoying that it had to kind of stay back on a table behind me. So I wish I just took a long charging cable for myself. And then the other thing that I wish I took was a pillow from my partner. So he did get a recliner chair, but he was just so uncomfortable, and it made me anxious that he couldn't get sleep that he needed. So yeah, I wish I took that as well. So when it comes to my hospital bag, the first thing I'm going to talk about is actually the bag itself. I used a mini suitcase, so wheels and like a pull handle, and let me tell you now, I am glad I chose that instead of like a overnight bag without wheels. And in my case, when it came to getting Lila Rose into the car in her car seat, Rick could carry the car seat, I could drag along my suitcase, and I just didn't have to worry about heavy lifting after I've had my cesarean. So in the bag I actually used the handheld fan at one point. I didn't use my flannel. I used a hairband. I took a couple of hairbands, but I used a hairband. I just wanted my hair up out of the way. I used my water bottle, which Rick kept having to fill back up, and my midwife actually told him that was his job, to make sure I kept drinking all the way through, so I definitely recommend taking a water bottle or a drink of some sort. The next thing I used was my light dressing gown, so I used this for afterwards, after birth. I didn't want to put on a baggy t-shirt because I always wanted the chance of always having skin to skin contact whenever I held Lila Rose. So after giving birth, I just had my underwear and my light dressing gown around me. And that brings me on to the nightie, which I plan to wear during labour, and I actually did put this on ready to go into labour, and then the only reason why I didn't wear it through labour is because obviously I went into surgery, so I had to wear a gown. But 100% that nightie was definitely going to be there if I was going to have a natural labour, and I had the ones with the buttons, so when it came to her being delivered, she could go straight on my chest. So I definitely recommend a nightie, or I think they're called like actual nursing nighties or something like that, where you can just have it open so they can do skin to skin contact if that's important to you. So when it comes to the t-shirts that I took, I think I took 3 baggy t-shirts for afterwards, and I only ended up using one of those. Obviously I couldn't move from my bed for 24 hours, so I stayed in my dressing gown, and I wasn't allowed to shower or anything like that, so I stayed in my dressing gown, and I only ended up wearing the one t-shirt when it came to going home. I think it was like the day after she was born. I also took joggers and leggings, and I only ended up using the joggers to come home in. I didn't really feel comfortable wearing something really tight, and I thought the joggers were a lot warmer because I was giving birth in winter. Next thing I definitely used were the socks that I took. So I took a couple pairs of socks and some fluffy socks. I didn't end up using the fluffy socks, I don't think, but I just wore, I think, 2 pairs of socks. I think I might have actually worn a pair all the way through labour, but I think they said you want to take them off for when popping the waters, because the last thing you want is like it to gush all over your socks. So I think I took them off for that. The next thing I use is my Vaseline. I highly recommend taking Vaseline, especially if you think you might end up on the gas and air. To be honest, even if you don't end up on gas and air, you're always trying to breathe and control your breathing through labour. So yeah, your mouth gets really dry, and I definitely used the Vaseline a couple times during the labour. Next thing I can highly recommend are adult nappies. I could just not cope with the idea of using maternity pads, but these adult nappies, oh my god, they are a godsend. And for postpartum actually, they are very handy for those first couple of periods that are very heavy. Yeah, those adult nappies are brilliant. I recommend those 100%. Then I don't know if you guys can remember, but I had a little toiletry bag. I took some shampoo, I took deodorant, and I took toothbrush and toothpaste. Obviously I used toothbrush and toothpaste because I stayed in for like a night and 2 days or something, and I used the deodorant because I couldn't move from my bed for 24 hours, so there was no getting clean at all. But I didn't actually shower until I came home, so I didn't use the shampoo at all. The next thing I used was actually the hairbrush that was in my toiletry bag. I've actually got it here actually. There you go. I used this little travel hairbrush. I only used that for afterwards, just when I knew that mum and dad were coming to visit and I realised I looked disgusting and I needed to sort out my hair, so I just kind of brushed it through. I think it ended up going back up in a ponytail anyway, to be honest. I don't really know why I did that. Obviously I used my charger, so definitely use a charger, but like I said, I wish I took a long lead charger. I did use my makeup wipes at one point. I don't think I actually had any makeup on, but you know when you get kind of like a residue of makeup, and also because I couldn't move from my bed for 24 hours, it was actually quite nice to use my makeup wipes to just freshen up my face after having Lila Rose. So yeah, I definitely use the makeup wipes. And the last thing is also moisturizer. So I get really dry skin, you guys know this, you can see it, I've got eczema all over my hands, so my moisturiser 100% was so good for making me feel a little bit more normal after I've given birth. So just don't forget to take something that just makes you feel a little bit more refreshed after you've given birth. So now it's on to baby's hospital bag, and there's not loads to talk about, but I will go through what I did use. So first of all, I did use the formula. That's the first thing I talk about in that video. I used those ready-made formula bottles. I did try breastfeeding and they actually told me I was doing a really good job of it, and then I worked out a day later that she wasn't actually taking in any milk at all. So I tried with those formula, but I thought I'd include that because some people are completely set on breastfeeding, but sometimes it doesn't go according to plan. Sometimes you can't get any milk out. The formula was definitely very handy to have in the bag. So I also took a lot of sleep suits and vests just in case I was in there for a couple days or a week or so. I was only in there, I think, like I said, 2 days and a night, so she actually only ended up using 2 sleep suits and 2 vests because she didn't leak in them at all. Then she also had her coming home outfit, which I kept the exact same. I'll leave a picture on the screen right now, and everything that I planned for her to come home in was the exact same, so that all stayed the same. We used the wipes, we definitely used the nappies, so I took 10 nappies. That was a huge mistake. Literally I had her at 2:35 in the morning. My mum was coming to visit about 9 o'clock. By 8 o'clock I was ringing her saying, please can you make sure you bring nappies because we are all out. Don't underestimate how many nappies that you need. I think mum ended up turning up with 2 lots of the newborn Pampers, like the mini ones, and I think we probably went for a pack of those while we were still in there for the next day. We then took 2 muslins, which I think we ended up using one of the muslins, and I probably would have ended up using both if she was actually taking in milk, because then she would probably puke up milk. So yeah, I only ended up using one, but I probably would have ended up using both. Then when it came to all those lovely hats that I had to mix and match with different outfits, I only ended up using one. And that was the same one that I used in the coming home outfit as well, so I basically just didn't really need all those hats. Same with the mittens actually. I think I took about 3 different pairs of mittens. I don't really know why I did that because I had sleep suits with built-in mittens in them, so I don't know what that was about, to be honest. So yeah, they didn't get used at all. And I've just talked as if I had another point to make, but actually that is the end of the list. So I'm hoping that's not information overload for you guys. I hope that helped you guys out. Again, if there's anything that you guys want to know, or if you want to do a Q&A, then just leave those questions down below. Instagram, email me, whatever is easiest for you. If you haven't hit that subscribe button already and you'd like to, then please don't forget to hit it before you leave because it really helps to support my channel. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!